So this is what I'm waking up to this morning, huh? What's up, y'all? My name is Devonte, and I sacrifice my time so you don't have to. Let's get directly into this, and we'll talk about this afterwards. Because I'm pretty sure some of you guys are probably asking yourselves after I don't know, maybe some of you guys follow the dirt sheets like that. You're probably seeing the news circulating right now about a gentleman by the name of Rossy Ogawa who just got his contract terminated with Stardom. And you're probably asking yourselves, who is Rossy Ogawa, and why is Tony Khan going on a mental episode tweeting about the guy? We're going to get to Tony in a little bit, but let me introduce you to Rossy Ogawa first, because I'll admit, I'm not too familiar with the gentleman, but I know enough about him just from doing my research when I was doing my whole the top 100 greatest wrestlers of all time list around this time, about 3 years ago. I actually passed by Rossy when I was trying to look at some information to discuss when I put my Nami Toyota on my list. And I passed by him, and I remember reading an interesting story about him and how he was coming up through the ranks. Because I think he actually, and you know what, I actually did hear about him beforehand, even before this, because I remember, what was it? I think I was reading up something on, was it Aja Kong, I think? This was like back in like maybe 2008 in high school. I remember reading about something on Aja Kong, because that was around the time when I was really obsessed with Japanese wrestling. And I remember hearing his name, and he was like in, I forgot, they said like he started up a wrestling promotion, because he was like really, really influential on women's wrestling as a whole, but more in particular in Japan. He's like you guys know who Billy Wolf is? Billy Wolf was like this traveling promoter who used to collab with the Fabulous Moolah back in like the 1930s, the 1940s. I remember people calling him the Billy Wolf of Japan, because he was like one of the most influential, if not the most influential people in women's wrestling in Japan, and obviously overall, I guess, women's wrestling in general. And he was working with this tag team. I can't remember the name of the Doom Girls, some shit like that. It was what's the lady name again? Nagayo. I can't remember her first name though. And the other one was Lioness Asuka. And I remember seeing when Asuka first came into NXT and hearing Asuka coming, because I knew it was Kana at first, and then I heard Asuka, and I was like, oh wow, she's really old, isn't she? From what I remember. And then I just see they actually renamed Kana to Asuka. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not the same person. But yeah, the dude, he was like he started like I don't know if he started the company, but I know he was in the mix when All Japan women started up in like the early 80s, late 70s, around that time. He was like really instrumental in that. And I think he went to another promotion or two, and then that's when he came to or I think actually, no, I don't think he came to Stardom. I think he actually started Stardom, if I'm not mistaken. Someone can correct me in the comment section. Or Angelo, I know you're really into this shit, dude. I know he'll probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear to God, I remember hearing back like right when I graduated high school, like right before I started with the military. I remember seeing news circulating. That's when Stardom like first started. This was probably like in maybe 2010, I want to say, is when I first heard about Stardom. Actually, that could have been the year when it started, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but I think Stardom started in 2010, maybe 2009, but I think it was 2010, because that's when I heard the news for the first time. It happened like right after Trent Acid passed away. But yeah, I remember hearing Ogawa starting Stardom, because I think him and what's buddy's name again? Not Takahashi, I think. I remember seeing something about them starting it, but that's essentially who he is. He's like the Billy Wolf of Japan. Highly influential in women's wrestling, from my understanding. And not to mention, again, just instrumental. One can honestly say he was kind of the godfather of the whole women's revolution. If you guys want to really contextualize this, he's kind of the godfather of the women's revolution. If you want to go all the way back to the 1970s, dude is really huge and women's wrestling overall. But if I can just do you guys something up, because I was looking up the article. Where's the article? I'll have it linked down in the description box below. This is essentially, because you're probably wondering who the fuck is he? Well, there you go right there. And I'm going to tell you why everybody's talking about him right now. Hang on for a second. I'm trying to do two things at once. God damn it. There we go. So this is from SC Scoops. Oh, really? They got rid of the page? Did they get rid of the page? Hang on. I think they got rid of the page. Oh, no. There we go. Okay. Rossy Ogawa, the founder of Oh, bet. Shit, I was right. See what I mean? The founder of Stardom Wrestling has been cut from the promotion with immediate effect after he poached, in quotations, wrestlers and staff from the promotion. In an announcement from Bushiroad, the following was said: "To whom it may concern and to our fans, thank you very much for your continued support of Stardom. We would like to inform you that Bushiroad Fight Inc., the company, is pleased to announce that it has entered into a business consignment agreement with Mr. Rossy Ogawa. We are pleased to inform you what we have terminated that." What the fuck? Did it say we are pleased? Really? "We are pleased to inform you that we have terminated the consignment agreement with Rossy Ogawa as of February 4th, 2024. Since 2019, the company has entered into the agreement with Rossy Ogawa, the founder of Stardom, and has invited him to serve as executive producer and has entrusted him with Stardom-related tasks. However, we have recently become aware that Mr. Rossy Ogawa has been poaching a number of Stardom athletes and staff members, and we have decided to terminate this agreement. We sincerely apologize for any concern this may have caused. We, the players and staff of Stardom, will continue to make concerted efforts to further develop Stardom and to deliver excitement to our fans. We look forward to your continued support." God damn, why was this hard to say? And it continues on with the article. As exodus of talent, Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer reports that many Stardom wrestlers are loyal to Ogawa, so his exit may lead to several departures given that many contracts are up next month. Meltzer added that some talent were handed legal threats recently, making clear that no one would be parting with the company until their contracts expire. And apparently the replacement for Ogawa is going to be a guy named Teiro Okada and Ayama. The Bushiroad Fight merchandise manager will immediately take over as the bookers for Stardom. Neither has any previous experience as bookers, though Okada, not to be obviously confused with Kazuchika Okada, was part of a pro wrestling club that held matches during his college days. So there you go right there. So now that you have an understanding of who Rossy Ogawa is and why he got fired, I'm still not really understanding though. Isn't poaching talent? If they're under contract, that's completely different, because then he's putting the company in a bind. I understand the termination of it means that, but if he's poaching talent in the sense that their contracts are over and he's just trying to entice them to join Stardom, is that the case? Because what do they mean by poaching talent? When I look at the word poaching, I thought poaching just meant like you're trying to poaching. Looking it up right now. I always thought poaching talent meant, okay, what is employee poaching? Employee poaching refers to the practice of one company recruiting an employee from a competing company. This process can enhance competition for top talent and provide opportunities for skilled employees. Okay, so why is that a bad thing for Stardom? Wait, what is the difference between recruiting and poaching? But not all. Poaching means recruiting employees with companies that you compete with. Okay, so unless this is like a AAA CMLL situation, because I know CMLL and AAA, they aren't really the best of friends. And I know they don't want to have anything to do with each other. They don't fuck with each other under any circumstances at all. I think that's half the reason why AAA doesn't really fuck with, which company doesn't really fuck with AEW all too well anymore, because the other one is working with the other company. I think it's AAA who doesn't really fuck with AEW like that, because I think they are in a partnership currently with CMLL, or it could be backwards. It's some shit like that. I think Andrade was a part of that heat also a couple of weeks ago in regards to that. If it's poaching talent in that way, then I understand. I get it, I guess. But if they just mean poaching talent in the sense that, like, oh, you know, hey, he's going around and he's telling people, like, hey, join this company, join my company, while they're in the contract, then I get that. But let's get to Tony Khan real quick, because this is where the funny part comes into. For all the people on the AEW side, and it's usually a bunch, you know, let me not go there. My point being is, you people always, all the time, say things like, oh, you know, the feds are constantly having conspiracy theories about why Tony Khan is, you know, snorting coke and all this other kind of stuff. Well, between the boss situation and now this, I don't know if you can really hold that high ground right now. So check this out. Tony Khan has seemingly accused a controversial personality of being an informer in WWE. The name being discussed is Rossy Ogawa. Ogawa founded Stardom Wrestling in 2010. Oh, it was 2010. I was right. Okay. And later sold it to Bushiroad in 2019. Despite selling the promotion, he was still a part of the promotion. In a shocking turn of events, Rossy's contract with Stardom was terminated earlier today after news surfaced that he poached many Stardom players and staff. Which again, do they mean like that? Like he hired them specifically to get intel to pass off to other companies? Maybe that's what they mean by poached. Following the news, Tony Khan took to Twitter to post a cryptic message which suggested that Ogawa could have been working for WWE and possibly Vince McMahon. And as you see, you know, if you didn't notice the tweet earlier that I have on the cover or the thumbnail, the feds had an undercover agent in Dr. Shrek's office, is essentially what he's alluding to. The feds noted here could have been WWE, while the undercover agent could be Rossy Ogawa. However, it is pertinent to understand this is... Goddamn, I'm not editing it out. Fuck that. However, it is pertinent to understand this is only speculation and nothing has been confirmed by any related parties. Let's see. Oh, I guess that's essentially it. This is just other bullshit talking about stuff that doesn't relate to that tweet overall. Okay, so let's get to this real quick. So now that you guys have a basic understanding of what's going on here, now it comes in with my opinions and my statements relating to the situation. Tony, there are so many things currently going on in your company right now. Why are you worried about this? Why is this this is not a battle for you. This is not a fight for you. He actually did tweet out something also to the effect of, bye, Rossy. Like, dude, come on, bro. Because if this is true, what Dave Meltzer is alluding to, now I'm not sure as far as the inner workings of Stardom goes in regards to his relationship, Rossy that is, with the other Stardom talent. But if it's true that you have a bunch of people who are loyal to Rossy, because I actually did read something in one of those tweets that said Rossy, and again, maybe this has more to do with the poaching nonsense. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they mean by poaching. I still don't. Maybe they mean that he's hiring informants to talk right back to WWE, or hiring some talent to go over to WWE. Because I know I read one tweet that says something along the lines of Rossy. So people will come up, talent will come to Stardom, and Rossy will just outright tell them to go join WWE. Like, or if their contract expires, they'll go, you know, he'll tell them to go join. As a matter of fact, I think he was telling that this is just rumored, by the way, but apparently he was pushing really hard for the Julia, whatever her name is, that chick, to join WWE. Again, it's just a rumor that I was seeing on Twitter that was floating around underneath that "Bye Rossy" tweet from Tony Khan. So I'm not sure in regards to the confirmation in regards to that news right there. But overall, Tony, there are so many things going on in your company right now. Why are you worried about this, bro? Why are you worried about this in the end of the day? Go worry about your other company. Now, granted, we're just beating a dead horse at this point, but that's what it is. But it's more so prevalent in this situation because like Dave Meltzer was alluding to, and I can only assume that Tony probably understood this news, is that apparently a lot of the women are super loyal to Ogawa, right? And it's pretty obvious that Ogawa most likely I'm pretty sure they don't need him on the main roster, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not William Regal's right-hand man in NXT and helping out Shawn Michaels there, right? Right? There's a bunch of talent that's leaving Stardom most likely next month because of this man's firing. And who's to say that he doesn't just bring them all to NXT? Like you literally just handed WWE a pool of talent for no reason. It didn't have to be that way. Now, granted, some people's argument can probably be, well, if they were so influenced by Rossy would have had them underneath his control to begin with to bring him over to the WWE. But you don't know that. Maybe the relationship isn't strong enough to really overcome what Rossy would probably tell the girls to do, or at least recommend for the girls. It's probably the best way to say it. I don't make it sound like he's a fucking pimp or anything. But now that you've done something like this, maybe they feel as if they're insulted because you went out of your way to insult one of their mentors, one of their friends, a person who you probably don't know that he's probably a father figure to a bunch of those Joshis. And it's like, why do that, bruh? Not to mention, I'm not even too sure how the Joshis underneath you feel about, because again, that dude's incredibly influential in women's wrestling in Japan. I'm not sure how the other people or the women underneath you, like, I don't know how Emi Sakura feels. I don't know how Riho feels. I don't know how, what's that girl name again? That Sheeta lady. I don't know how she feels about this. How do they feel about how you're talking about this guy? You gotta chill with that stuff. I am kind of curious though, because again, with Lioness Asuka, not to get confused with today's Asuka, let's just say Kana, just so we can have an understanding, so we're not getting confused here. I do remember hearing a story about, and actually, Angelo, I think he was explaining to me a story about Asuka having a problem with one of the promoters in regards to just Joshi wrestling in general, and how all the Joshis alienated her because she talked a lot of shit behind their backs. And I'm not sure if that relates to him in some certain way. Like if Asuka Kana has a problem with Rossy, again, someone can tell me in the comment section, because I'm loosely familiar with everything in regards to the man. I just haven't followed him intently enough to know exactly what, I know he's a producer, I know he's a creator, I know he's a founder and everything like that, but I mean, like, in relation, like, I could tell you anything about Vince McMahon, I could tell you anything about Eric Bischoff. For the most part, I can get into the mud with Jim Crockett. We could talk about promoters of the past like all day, but there are certain ones who I just am familiar with, but I'm just not understanding of who they are as a promoter or as a person like I am familiar with the people in America. So if you guys feel like I got some information wrong, which I don't think I did, I confirmed most of the stuff in these articles off the top of the dome, and I've been somewhat familiar with the guy for the better part, about 15 years, maybe a little bit longer. I just never really did my due diligence to want to really dig deep into him outside of just passing glances of his name in articles and dirt sheets over the last 15 to maybe 18 years. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to the subject. Do you feel that Tony Khan overstepped his boundaries once again for no fucking reason? Do you agree with the firing of Rossy? Because again, still not understanding. Again, someone can let me know in the comment section what they mean by poaching talent. Do they mean he's poaching informants, like apparently Tony Khan is alluding towards? Or is he just trying to talk people out of their contracts, or talk people to coming to his company out of their contracts? Is he trying to poach people from rival companies, similar to a AAA CMLL situation? Not sure, but let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to this situation. As always, my name is Devonte, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces, P. Eyes.